everybody. I'm sorry this is a little late. And by the way, my Superman and Lois review will be going up right after this. But I'm really, really committed to making sure I get these live streams back on track, which means Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and then of course our 3 a.m. watch-alongs, which are now a regular thing. I'm getting used to it though. I'm starting to get used to it. But anyway, it's so nice to see so many of you here. I hope that sometimes when this is very late, it means some of you who can join who don't usually join. So just trying to make it I'm trying to get it around 5 o'clock. Still struggling a little bit with the sleep schedule. I'm coming up on a year of being in quarantine, and so I'm a little bit annoyed about it. I have my tweet all ready for that day. How about you guys? How long has everyone been in quarantine? Like a year of not being able to do regular stuff. I like the dab emoji they're making. I'm waiting for everyone to catch up to me. There's a little bit of a lag. You guys are about a minute behind me. Yeah, you're all about a year. Isn't this just insane? George, I'm sorry to hear about your work situation. Yeah, March. It's March pretty much. We're all coming up on a year together. This is insane. Remember when we started, I thought it would just be a couple of months. I thought it would be about 3 months or so. And it's like been a year. And we're not even done. It seems like this is going to take maybe most of 2021 as well. I can't believe that we lost 2 years of our lives. Well, we didn't lose them, but they were like we've all been like put on a pause, which is really weird. But I'm glad that we've been able to continue our conversations. And thank God, Harry says, I can't wait for Friday. That's right. Streaming has really saved us, wouldn't you say? But it's an incredible situation. So we have some really great, I'm glad that I've been able to be helpful, David. That makes me feel really nice. And I have to say that we did get blipped, Nathan. Now we know how Monica felt. But although she had a very sad situation. But I will say, you guys have been just as helpful to me. Spending this time with you is so nice, and I feel very much still like I'm a part of the world. So you guys are great. I love you all so much. Fishman, I'm glad you're vaccinated, both rounds. Who's vaccinated? I can't even get the vaccination in New York because it's only for people 65 and older. And then also next up, hey Ellis, next up, it won't be, it'll be people who have vulnerabilities. You guys are all so great. Your comments are so wonderful. Jennifer's had one. Oh, Chico, I'm sorry you can't get it. Jack says his sister is. Most of you don't have it yet. I think most people can't get it yet. Oh, Patrick. Patrick is also about to get his second round. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining. If you join during a live stream, you get a shout out. Alice, I'm so glad you're finally a member. And at the end, you can ask me anything. So the way streams work, for those of you who aren't aware, we do the 3 stories, and then at the end, 10 minutes if you can ask me anything that you would like, and then I do a couple of shout outs, and then I'm going to go upload my Superman and Lois review. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. Story number 1. Hold on. Boop. So this was a story I heard from some people I know at Disney right as it was breaking. I almost was able to scoop it, although this is a sad scoop. This is a sad, sad scoop. And that's the Blue Sky Studios. I don't think really to the surprise of anyone is finally being shut down. It lasted a little longer than most of Fox. Very, very difficult, very tough. Its last day will be in April. Now, one of the problems I think that it had is that it's not in Burbank. It's not in California. Interestingly, Blue Sky Studios happens to be located in Greenwich, Connecticut. In fact, when Epic came out, which was a surprisingly good movie, I got to do a tour. I don't know if you recall that video, but I got to visit their facility. They drove a bunch of us out there, and it was really lovely. It was a really nice facility. It was a whole working animation studio in an office building in Greenwich, Connecticut. But, I think that distance probably didn't help very much either. So April will be their last day, and while their IPs will live on, like Rio, Ice Age, which of course is getting a Disney Plus show, Apparently, word is they're not going to bring over any talent, which I think is really sad. That not even a handful of animators who work there, they feel are worth bringing over into Disney. It must be that Disney has a very difficult situation financially themselves. Cannot bring anybody over. You would think they would try to salvage a couple of people. Because those people are, I guess the other problem is those people are all located in Greenwich, Connecticut. So you would have to relocate them. It's just not a matter of them driving to a different workplace. That must be it. That must be, I'm sure, a very big factor. That's very, very, very unfortunate. I know that Disney, though, everybody's working from home at Disney, I think, through this entire year. I don't think that Disney will go back to working at the studio until 2022. Isn't that ridiculously crazy? Although I totally understand it. So, Spies in Disguise was the last movie that was released. And as many of you have already pointed out, they had a movie in production called Nimona, and that was 10 months from the finish line, and it's just been completely shuttered. They're not even going to try and finish it. You would think that Disney would finish it and put it on Disney Plus, right? But maybe they had contracts that were a dilemma. Disney just doesn't feel it's worth it to complete that movie. So all the work that these people were doing since the Fox acquisition seems to be totally a waste of time. At least they got paid. Hey, Nate Fried Soka Reeds, that's an interesting name. So very, very unfortunate, although I don't think that any of us are really surprised whatsoever, because Spies in Disguise, while it was a very good movie, didn't do well. Blue Skies never really had the ability to get a big hit outside of Ice Age and Rio, quite frankly. They had the Dr. Seuss movies, but that brand has been gone over to Universal. First it was Illumination, and I think they've even lost it, So I forget where Dr. Seuss last landed as a brand. Did it go to Warner Brothers? I think it did, actually, because Warner Brothers lost Lego to Universal, so they kind of traded. So, and also Disney already has 2 animation studios. They already have Disney Animation, of course, the classic, and they have Pixar. And so I just don't think that there is room for a third vertical, quite frankly. It reminds me of Universal, speaking of Universal, that itself has 2 animation divisions. Hey, John Boyce, Universal has not only Illumination, but now they purchased DreamWorks. So they have, 2 animation's very popular. It does very well, especially now that you have streaming services. Look what a lifeline The Croods has been. The Croods 2 to Universal during this time period. It made as much as Wonder Woman did globally during the pandemic. So, and Lucasfilm Animation, I guess, that's true, within Lucasfilm. So I feel very bad for Blue Sky Studios, but I don't really think that it was avoidable. I don't think it's a horrible thing. I think, it's amazing that an animation studio in Greenwich, Connecticut lasted as long as they did, quite frankly. And so, I don't think anybody could really get that upset with Disney over it. I hope that these individuals can get jobs, but they're going to have to relocate because there really aren't any East Coast animation studios. So they're going to have to try and get out to the West Coast. But there should be a lot of jobs. There is a lot of animation going on right now, a lot of TV animation, all kinds of stuff. So they should be able to get something. So that's the first story of the day. And as the Platinum Diva points out, they had to know it was coming. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Very sad. Second story of the day. Boop. That's right, Netflix could pick them up. So the second story of the day is that the Powerpuff Girls, they live, well, kind of. This is an interesting situation. So it was pitched a while ago, as you might recall, to do a live-action Powerpuff Girls when they got older. So they grew up, and they're upset about their childhoods being wasted. They didn't get to have real childhoods because they fought crime instead. They worked for, I think, what is it, a professor? I never watched Powerpuff Girls, but it's certainly a strong brand. So that's kind of like a child star angle. So I think that's pretty clever. I think that's a pretty clever idea. So that's been in the works for a while now. Now, the reason it made a headline today is that the CW greenlit a bunch of new shows. Hey, Devin Leary. For instance, they're doing a Naomi show from the DC comic book character. I gotta tell you, I never really think that Naomi clicked with comic book readers. Ava DuVernay's attached to that, so I'm sure it's helping it. But I feel they're already doing a Wonder Girl Yara Flor from Brazil series, so I don't know why they would do 2 of those. But anyway, Powerpuff Girls is not picked up straight to series, which I think is very interesting. Instead, the CW has approved a pilot, which means, hey, Isaiah Burwell, which means they want to see what it looks like. They really want to see what Powerpuff Girls would look like. And then if they like it, they'll greenlight it. It's a little similar to, remember the Wonder Woman pilot that was made, so infamously, and in fact, Pedro Pascal was the villain there, or it was a character there on that pilot, and then of course went on to be the villain in Wonder Woman 2. But that was something that, so basically you can shoot the pilot, they'll cast people, they'll do all that, but it might not necessarily move forward. It is live action. I think the casting, as many of you are asking already, is going to be the most important factor, who they cast as the Powerpuff Girls. Also, I want to point out that HBO Max has a deal that looks like it might go through with the CW, and that they're going to pump some money into the CW shows, and then therefore they could air on both services. So this might benefit from that. I also am a little concerned because Charlie's Angels didn't do very well. I think people have a real problem with like all female teams, and so I have some concern as to whether or not this would be well received. What do you guys think? Are you excited for, it certainly trended, are you excited for a Powerpuff Girls series? I mean, I'm amazed at the CW. I don't know. I really like Superman and Lois, as you're about to see when I post my review, but that's because it doesn't seem like it should be on the CW. Maybe the CW could reconfigure itself. So let's see here. Let's see if you're interested. Yeah, Birds of Prey also poorly received. Boy, a lot of you are not interested in this. That's interesting. That's right. I can see that Ellis said they'd like a diverse cast. They will definitely have a diverse cast. 100%. There's no way they're going to have 3 Caucasian Powerpuff Girls. I give that a 0. So we'll see who they get. A lot of you really hate this. Maybe it hate trended. I'm beginning to think that it hate trended. So let's see who they cast. I hope they, that's funny. Juan says that Winx was poorly received, but hey, Whitney Adrian. But I got to say, Winx was a big hit for Netflix. It's done very well in terms of streaming. So maybe people they'll not only hate tweet about it, but they'll hate watch it too. But so look for Powerpuff Girl casting soon. I think that should be pretty interesting. I'm excited about that. Tabitha says, aren't they sisters? That's right, they are sisters, but I think there's a very good chance, if they're made in a lab, they could be sisters, like in that regard, like adopted sisters or something. I think they can get around having to have them all be the same ethnicity very easily. Would you guys be upset if they diversified the Powerpuff Girls? I don't see any way they could not in 2022 or whenever this airs. I mean, I want them to do it. I think it's important that they do it. Very important. Although I thought Charlie's Angels kind of worked. So you see you're all fine with it, which is great. I think casting is really important. I hope they're not CW style actors. That would be something I'd be very nervous about. So that's going to come pretty soon. That's going to be put together. You're not necessarily going to get it, but you'll certainly see pictures of it because that stuff leaks all the time, and I'm sure they'll pump it up a little bit. But, they couldn't get Power Rangers to come back, so Powerpuff Girls could be a little bit difficult. That's interesting, Chad saying Powerpuff Girls are Asian. They're not going to do 3 Asian Powerpuff Girls, but it would be nice to see one of them represent that ethnicity. By the way, on a side note, I think it's really wonderful to see Asian talent, putting together a reward for any information on some of the hate crimes and attacks that have been perpetrated so tragically against the Asian community. I think that's just really wonderful that they're doing that. Okay, so that's the second story of the day. The third story of the day, boom, baby. I like this story. Somebody, I forget who it was at the very beginning, was like, why isn't Grace talking about the Wizard of Oz? I didn't see the Wizard of Oz story. I have it saved for tomorrow unless something else comes up. But this story I think is really interesting because the ratings came in for the Super Bowl and they are low. So there's some interesting stuff about it. So the Super Bowl came in at 96.4 million viewers, which is certainly a lot in terms of overall TV, but it's the lowest Super Bowl in recent history since 2006. How much is it off? It's off by about 20 million viewers. Now, the first interesting factoid about this is that 5.7 million people streamed the Super Bowl. That's a 69% increase from last year. That really goes to show that streaming is taking off and more people are cutting the cord. That to me is the most interesting factoid about the Super Bowl this year. I think that's fascinating. I myself am considering cord cutting because it's just getting too expensive. Before I had a couple of streaming services, but I still had traditional cable, bundled with my internet and a home phone that I never use. But I'm starting now. I was actually having a discussion this morning with my family about Paramount Plus, and we were like, are we going to get this too? And I'm like, I'm already paying for the family's Disney Plus and HBO Max. If we get Paramount Plus, one of you has to pay for it and give me your password. So I think that probably in the next month or so, I'm going to actually sit down and do the math and be like, how could I save money? Because once I get Paramount Plus and stuff like that, and there's Peacock, I don't need the cable stuff anymore. I can just get it through that. Or I guess I could buy this. I watch so few, regular channels or regular shows anymore that I could just purchase that on iTunes. So who here's a cord cutter? That's right, the council. I'm going to do the movie math. I'm going to do actual math. Okay, guys, I will try to do a video on it. Stella cut the cord. A lot of you have cut the cord. Isaiah says, I don't know anybody with cable anymore. Well, you know me, and I have it. Bill Osel is like, what's this cable TV you speak of? That's pretty funny. You guys are all like, do it, Grace. I like my DVR. It's so simple. It's going to be really difficult right now. Like right now, everything just easily records, but having to remember what service to go to get all the stuff, I think it's going to I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Most of you have cut the cord. That's fascinating. Who here is going to subscribe to Paramount Plus? Paramount Plus isn't that expensive. It's $100 for a full year, no commercials. You can get it for even cheaper if you're willing to watch commercials. I hate watching commercials if I'm paying for something. If I'm paying for it, almost nobody. Hey, Gustavo Hernandez. That's a great name. Boy, you guys are very opinionated on this. A lot of answers are coming very fast. Looks so far not good. How are you going to watch the SpongeBob movie? I think the thing is, you've waited so long for SpongeBob, you can just watch SpongeBob when it finally becomes available later on. But it looks like so far, most of you are not getting Paramount Plus. That's really fascinating. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about with the Super Bowl, which I think is very interesting, is that why do we think that it didn't do well? Well, Tom Brady, maybe people are sick and tired of him winning. They're like, Tom Brady, I've had enough of him. I only recently discovered the video of him and his son, how he kisses his son, and I was creeped out. I was like, this is very bad. And I think that I really love Patrick Mahomes, but maybe he just hasn't built up enough appeal just yet. Then maybe it's the Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. Maybe those aren't great teams. Like the Buccaneers, until Tom Brady came over and Gronkowski, nobody cared about the Buccaneers. Then the Chiefs, I think, still a little bit of a difficult situation. And it was Armie Hammer like Patrick O'Donnell. It was really weird. I was like, why does everyone keep talking about why does everyone keep talking about Tom Brady kissing his son? I better Google it. And then I was sorry that I did. And so also The Weeknd, hey, Amarach, I think that The Weeknd is a wonderful, talented performer, but perhaps he doesn't have the same universal appeal that some previous performers have had. And I saw one of you point out that there weren't really any women involved, and that's a really good observation. With not having a female performer for the halftime show, I think it does seem a little bit too male-centric. And I also see a couple of you pointing out that you couldn't have watch parties this year, and so maybe people don't want to watch the Super Bowl if they have to watch it by themselves. That's pretty interesting. I don't mind. As I told you, I just can't watch the Super Bowl. I'm happy not to. I've always felt I could watch a little bit of the Super Bowl. I think I have to understand that that's just not in the cards for me because it's work time. Now let's go over the most watched Super Bowls to date. So they had a list of this, and so the list was in the trades, but they didn't list the halftime show, but I looked it up. All right, so the most watched Super Bowl of all time was in 2015 with the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, versus the Seattle Seahawks. And Kate, I think I remember that game. That was an amazing game. I have to say the game on Sunday, from what I heard, was also a little boring. But anyway, Katy Perry was the performer. And she not only was the performer, but Lenny Kravitz was her guest, as well as Missy Elliott. That's a pretty good show. Then second was the 2014 show with the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos with Bruno Mars as the halftime show. Bruno Mars, beloved by all, missed by all as well these days. He actually trended on Sunday as well, and everybody was like, where's Bruno? Then in 2016, that's the third most watched, and that's the one with Beyonce. Everyone's like, what about the Beyonce one? The 2016 Super Bowl with the the Denver Broncos. Sorry, I typed it wrong. The Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers. I didn't even know the Carolina Panthers was a team. Well, that halftime show was so amazing with Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno Mars that it's still the third most watched game of all time. Then the 2012 comes in fourth place with the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots, again with Madonna as the halftime show. And then the fifth most watched is the 2017 Super Bowl with the New England Patriots again versus the Atlanta Falcons with Lady Gaga as the halftime show. I'm as surprised as you that Shakira and Jennifer Lopez have not made the top 5, but these did. So the performers, just to reiterate, are Katy Perry, number 1, Bruno Mars. That's great for Katy Perry. She also did the inauguration. Katy Perry's career is amazing, and she doesn't get enough attention, interestingly enough. So Katy Perry, number 1, Bruno Mars, number 2, Coldplay, Beyonce, and Bruno, number 3, because Beyonce and Bruno Mars were a big part of that. Madonna, number 4, and Lady Gaga, number 5. I agree that Ariana Grande would be really great, but that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think that that shows that even if your main performer isn't going to be a woman, you need to have a female guest star to maybe bring in more people. That's right, Michael Jackson Dancing Dog 60. Prince and Michael Jackson aren't here in this. I think that's pretty interesting. Chico, I don't know why Taylor Swift hasn't done the Super Bowl. You'd think she'd be a really great choice, in fact. Maybe that's somewhere in the cards coming up soon. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. It's 6:12. You can ask me anything you'd like until 6:22, and then I must get back. I gotta post this. Superman and Lois review. I did get my screener for All the Boys, number 3, and it's a slow week, so I'm actually going to review it. I've never watched an All the Boys movie. I'm not going to watch any of the first 2 either, but let's see if I can just jump in and see what happens to Lana Condor and Noah Centineo on their last hurrah. Madeline, I'm not sure where Bruno is. I know he's battled substance abuse addiction, which is quite sad, so I hope he's doing well. Let's see here. Rodney, oh, thank you, Rodney. I'm sorry, I'm not going to react to the Raya International trailer. I'm sorry. Bye, Jerome. Adam Cornish says, what Adam Cornish said? Jacob Tremblay for Percy Jackson. Thoughts? I don't like that idea, I'm sorry to say. I think that unless Jacob Tremblay got hot, and then none of us noticed yet, I think you need a sexy actor to play that role. So, it's right at that age. Percy Jackson there. I believe there's some romance there. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He was doing a lot of raunchy stuff in that Seth Rogen movie, which was actually pretty good. So maybe. I'd have to see what he looks like now. Mikey Bray, I am going to watch It's a Sin. I have the screeners, but since it's not going to be airing until next week, I haven't watched it just yet. I'm addicted to Friends. I'm addicted. Seriously, I'm addicted to Friends. Last night I was like, I must watch Monica and Chandler get engaged, and it was further away than I thought it was. So I stayed up way too late. Don't tune. It's the downside of watching like a 40-hour movie. I will be reviewing Tom and Jerry Rodrigo, but it's too early for that as well. I'm not even going to reach out for screeners until next week. Although coming up, we've got a lot of movies. Cherry and Tom and Jerry, and then also SpongeBob, Coming to America, Raya, and I mean that's just so much. That's craziness. That's so much screeners. Oh, I didn't even put down Coming to America. Hold on, I have to ask for all these screeners next week. So I don't know how I'm gonna go watch all this. I'll find a way. Don't worry. The Platinum Diva is watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so she knows what I'm going through. Let's see here. Daniel says, Grace, what did you think of the Steppenwolf versus Amazon's sneak peek? It didn't have any sound, so for me, it's very hard to get a good feel for how that looks. I need to see it completed, and that's why I didn't cover it. Let's see. What's DC Infinite Frontier, Patrick? Are you talking about the Justice Society movie? I'll definitely review that. And I'll make sure I catch it when it first drops. Soul of the Dragon, I missed the first digital release, and I waited to review it until it rented, and that was a mistake. Sharon's binging Clone Wars, so she also feels my pain. What comics am I reading, Ryan? I just bought some comics today, in fact. Let me tell you which ones I bought. Hold on, I have my Comixology email in my account here. 1 second. All right. Today I bought American Vampire 1976 number 5. I'm loving that. It's so good. I bought Rorschach number 5. I actually haven't read any of the Rorschach comics, but I'm going to read them. They're just so dense. I don't feel like I have been able to really sit down and pay attention to them because I'm watching Friends. Friends has really hurt my comic book time. And then also I bought some DC Future State. God damn it. I bought Dark Detective because I like the artwork on that so much. I bought Justice League number 2 because Justice League number 1 was a pretty darn good mystery. I bought Superman and Wonder Woman because I thought the first one of that was pretty good. I'm starting to whittle down my DC Future States because it's too expensive and some of them are just so awful. I bought the next Superwoman, which even though I didn't like the first one, the art on it was so adorable, I bought the next one again. And then I bought Teen Titans because I liked the story there too. I was like, oh, what's happening here? This interests me. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm so behind on my comic books that I've actually stopped downloading them onto my iPad, and I just download them when I want to read them. Let's see here. Mika says, what do you think about Jason Momoa offered Knuckles in Sonic 2? Jason Momoa is a lot of fun, and he really works hard to promote stuff. I think he'd be a welcome addition to any project, although that's not a Warner Brothers project. Warner Brothers is like, we made you a star. Why are you going to talk to someone else? Chris says, how likely is it that Wanda will keep the headdress by the end of WandaVision? I don't know about that. They've never really done hardcore costumes in Marvel. No one wears a hat. I mean, even Thor takes off his helmet most of the time now. No hats in the MCU. It's like Edna Mode with no capes. But I really want her to have it. And she looks so great in the Halloween episode. So I really like to see her to have it. Will R says, she was your favorite part of the A-Force potential lineup. Yeah, I liked the A-Force moment. Everybody likes to make fun of the A-Force moment in Avengers Endgame, but I thought it was delightful. I remember seeing it, and I was like, they're doing it! I thought it was great. Roy says, MCU is visually dyslexic. Yeah, I think the MCU is a little weak visually. I think DC has much better costumes. It also bothers me that everybody goes to the same tailor in the MCU. Now, if they're all Avengers, fine. But why do the people on Guardians of the Galaxy have the same tailoring as the Avengers? It makes no sense. It really bothers me. Let's see here. Matt Dameron says, what does your work schedule like? Fun viewing and critic viewing? Also comics? I'll try to decipher that question, Matt. The reason I like watching Friends so much and the reason I like watching sitcoms is because old content is because I don't have to review it. When I'm watching something, to review it, that's work. So I can totally check out when I watch a classic film or an old sitcom. So that's why I enjoy doing it. So, but tomorrow night, I'm going to watch To All the Boys 3. Mika, I'm not sure when the Mortal Kombat trailer is going to come, but it should be coming pretty soon. It comes right after Godzilla vs. Kong, in fact. So they're going to want to get that out relatively soon. But, they have a lot on deck that maybe they want to clear, maybe the Snyder Cut first. Because right now HBO Max is getting you excited about Tom and Jerry, Snyder Cut, Judas and the Black Messiah is this weekend, which I bet most people don't even realize is dropping. So that's 4 projects that they have on deck. So I think one of them is going to have to get cleared before they're going to start promoting Mortal Kombat. I'm a little nervous about the Mortal Kombat trailer. I hope it's good. Oh, Jico says, any update on the fate for Black Widow? I'm real curious if they're going to make an announcement at the Disney Investor Day on Thursday. I can't believe it starts at 4:30 p.m. I have to go to sleep early on Thursdays, damn it, because I got to get up at 2 in the morning to get ready for a 3 a.m. stream. So that's a little bit frustrating. But I don't think they're going to announce it actually on Thursday. I think they're going to wait to see how Raya and the Last Dragon does. Not only in theaters, but I think they're going to look at their internal Disney Premiere Access performance as well. But I think that nobody would pay to see Raya early. I don't think that's a fair thing. Like, I think that May is coming up so fast. Are they really going to be able to release Black Widow and Cruella in theaters? I don't think that's going to be possible, considering it's so slow to vaccinate people. Do you guys think theaters will be viable in May? That's 2 months away. 2.5. Because I guess February just started. Yeah, most of you feel no. I just don't see it happening. Although Lisa's positive. Lisa, I like your positivity. I think that some of them might be open. I don't think that New York and LA will be open in May. And I got to tell you, I think we're all very paranoid in New York. Well, maybe not. So we'll see. One minute. Hey, David the Creative. That's a great name. Mommy needs a nap. Oh, hey, it's so nice to see you. Says, I'm thinking this year will almost be a loss. Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. Damn it. So frustrating. Let's see. Trevor Person says, have Wicked and Speed been cast? You mean like adult versions? You know, we haven't heard anything. Nothing's leaked, and you think it would have, that's what gives me the feeling that maybe they might get absorbed at the end of WandaVision as children still, and they won't reemerge as adults until maybe they do. Maybe that's how they'll get you to watch Young Avengers. They'll be like, the Young Avengers are going to go save Wicked and Speed. And you'll be like, oh, great. So let's see what happens to them at the end of this series. Oh, it's 6:22. All right, shout out time. You may ask me anything that so give me some stuff about yourself, where you are, what you're eating, what you're doing, just so I can, give you a hello. Mika says, Darcy Lewis. Oh, that's a question. I don't know what's going to happen with Darcy going forward. I'll be interested to see. I think probably more in the TV space. Dancing Dog 60 says, ordering pizza in Boston. That sounds great. Maybe Darcy will show up on the Secret Invasion show with Jimmy Woo. I would love for that to happen. George Alexander says, carrying on my X-Men binge with X2 tonight. The best X-Men movie. Let's see here. Brett James Bishop says, my birthday is on Thursday. Oh, happy birthday in advance. That's fantastic. I think I just saw somebody else said it was their birthday too. Jico is addicted to Ted Lasso. I'm so happy. I think I missed somebody's birthday. It's going too fast. I feel bad. I'm sorry. Oh, XIX Argus is going to their AA meeting. Good for you. Good for you. That's excellent. Richard Curtis ate some Hare's horseradish chips and they burnt my sinuses. Oh, that's okay. That sounds like an experience. Tabitha Plays just finished having KFC in South Carolina. Oh, maybe you were inspired by yesterday's fast food style stream. Oh, Jico, your birthday's on Thursday too. Oh, that's great. Happy early birthday. Oh, Holden finished his WandaVision art. Fantastic. There we go, Zeester. It's your birthday. You're 26. Happy birthday, Zeester. I'm so glad also you seem to be doing well. I know you had coronavirus a little bit ago, so I'm really glad that you seem okay. Dancing Dog 60 is also having some KFC. Hocus Focus is enjoying a Philly cheesesteak with onions. That sounds delicious. Brett Crandall is in Kansas. Hello to you too. Dior Panda is watching Bly Manor in Indiana. That sounds nice. Very atmospheric. Isaiah is watching me in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's pretty funny. I like that. Caesar Coronado, do you actually have a birthday? I can't give birthday shout-outs if you don't actually have a birthday. Madeline's eating a caprese salad in snowy Ohio. That's very, very cosmopolitan of you. I love it. Let's see here. Not Your Nico says today's my aunt's birthday, and we're going to have pizza. Well, it's National Pizza Day, so that's perfect. You're celebrating all the big holidays today. Let's see here. Youngie says, proud to live in Oxford with 2 vaccines on the go. Oh, that's good. Amy is in their bed in Slovakia playing a game. Oh, that's great. Hi, Slovakia. That's the Czech Republic and Slovakia. My relatives are from around there. I'm not sure which half. Amarcash says, enjoying your content. That's very sweet of you. Dana O'Leary says, making chicken and onion gravy while watching your favorite YouTuber. And you have my favorite emoji there. Let's see here. Marvelous is watching. Marvelous Jack 93 is rewatching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills from season 1. And you use the diamond emoji. Oh, that's so great. I love it. All right, let me get on to uploading the Superman and Lois review. Thank you, everybody who joined me today. I had a lovely day talking to you, as always. And there will be a stream tomorrow as well. All right. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.